Penang is an island with an area of 293 square kilometers, having a population of 1.783 million people as of 2020. Even with a high population density, there are still stories and places in Penang that will give you the creeps that many Penangites might not even know. In this video, you'll get to know why, how, and when these 4 abandoned places in Penang, that includes a hotel, a school, and 2 malls that have been left to rot. Coming in as number 1 on the list, the Mutiara Beach Resort is Penang's most peculiar abandoned place. And by peculiar, I mean the hotel placed a notice on its website with the following message: Mutiara Beach Resort Penang is currently closed for renovation until further notice. We would like to apologize for any inconvenience caused to our valued guests. However, after this link went viral on TikTok, I tried to search up the same website I did before, but ended up leading to a link to hotels.com that redirects people to the Mutiara Beach Resort in Riau, Indonesia. Perhaps the owners had forgotten about the abandoned website, or they're just trying to seize the existence of the hotel entirely, apart from the hotel itself being abandoned since 2006. That's 15 years as of 2021, and most people don't even know why. In August 2015, the Star tried to contact the owners of the hotel, known as Tradewinds Corporation's Berhad, but they refused to comment on the abandonment of the hotel. However, in September 2015, just a month after the Star tried to contact Tradewinds Corp, the chairman Dato' Wira Azhar Abdul Hamid gave a comment while asked about other hotels owned by Tradewinds. It was then when asked about the abandoned hotel in Penang, where he said that the competition in Batu Ferringhi was already fairly high, with high-end hotels sitting side by side. After being abandoned for over 9 years at that time, the cost of restoring the place would cost them over 200 million ringgit, as he quoted, "I might as well build a new hotel." I suppose that the idea of renovation was basically stalled for too long, that finally led the abandoned hotel becoming a liability rather than an investment, especially since it would be the last hotel at the end of the stretch of hotels from Tanjung Bunga up to Teluk Bahang. Some people speculate that the hotel was hit hard by the tsunami in 2004, especially in Teluk Bahang, although I can't quite debunk this story, as the hotel was only shut down 2 years later, which is ample of time for the hotel to restore any damages. Yet it might have affected its reputation due to the fright that it might have caused to the public that may have scared away potential guests. I just can't say for sure. The City Parade Mayang Hyperstore was built sometime in the 1980s and ceased its operations in the year 1998. 23 years have passed and the building still remains abandoned as of 2021. The terrors that haunt the Hyperstore are mainly based on 2 rumors of 2 different women who tragically passed away at this mall. The first story is of a woman who ended her own life by leaping off the rooftop of the building that tragically ended her life. The reasons to why she did and who she was remains a mystery. The second story that strikes me rather odd, of a woman who was brutally raped and murdered within the building. Yet the odd part of this story is that the woman's body was never found. This story is the mall's most infamous story, yet it leaves me with many questions. Mainly how this story began, when the victim alone did not live to tell the tale. So the question is, who told the story? Others have also seen shadow figures peeking over the sides of windows only to disappear in seconds. Screams of pain, that of a woman, are also rumored to echo throughout the building from those who ventured inside the haunted place. Malaysian YouTuber Afan Mustaqim explored the floors of the Mayang Hyperstore when he stumbled upon an odd sound that appeared within the rubble of what looks like an old water tank. As he gave his greetings to whoever was there, he heard a man's voice reply. After a persistent reply to several questions, he started to realize that there was a man sleeping within the rubble. They asked the man who he was and why he was there, although his answers didn't make much sense, such as he saw lights on the rooftop that led him there, and that yesterday there were a lot of people but today he is alone. They suspected that this man is believed to be homeless and is likely high on some kind of drug. You can watch the full video on his channel here. There seems to be no documented statement anywhere on the internet as to why the mall was abandoned. Even after hours of searching, there is just nothing about the closing of the mall. I guess it's up to you to decide on what happened to it. The Chung branch school was initially built in the 1880s that was previously known as the Chinese Residence or as the 5-story building. At its initial time, it was known as the most grand 5-story mansion on Northern Road in Penang. After the owner had passed away, the building was left to his niece, who had then sold the property to one of the largest property owners in Penang, Thai Ki Yun, in 1908. The Thai family leased the building to be used as the Bellevue boarding house before selling the place to be converted to the Raffles by the Sea Hotel in 1910. But because of copyright issues with its name resembling the Raffles Hotel in Singapore, the hotel was renamed to Hotel Norman in 1912. In 1915, the top floor was used as Piju Girls' School until 1920 when it was forced to close, allegedly due to new government regulations in the Education Bill of 1920. The owner then decided to leave Malaysia, leasing it to the government English school up to 1938. In that year, the Shih Chung branch school was born. However, the school hit a wall when World War II began in Malaysia between the years of 1941 to 1945. It was during this time when the British initially took over the building before being occupied by the Japanese. It was during the occupation of the Japanese when people claimed that the basement was used as a holding and torturing cell for prisoners of war. It was then when the people started to claim the hauntings began due to the gruesome and horrific torture methods of the Japanese at that time. That includes beheading, experiments, and even using bamboo that grows through the abdomen. After the war, the British occupied the building, which was eventually appealed for the return of the building to be used as a school in 1949. A year later, in 1950, the Shih Chung branch school was reopened to the public. Even with annual donations of up to 1,000 ringgit for renovations and to run the school ended up closing in 1994 due to a drop in student enrollments. People have claimed that suicides and fires have also broke out during this time as a school, although I can't confirm the authenticity of these stories. 27 years later, in 2021, the school is still left abandoned and is seemingly occupied by wildlife and vegetation. The roof, along with several parts of the building, seem to have collapsed, leaving only the grounds left to be used as a public car park. Rumors have spread regarding the horrific tales of hearing soldiers marching, screams of those tortured prisoners, and cries for help that spooked several people of those who had the opportunity to venture inside. Since then, people have said that the building is a bad omen and gives off a bad feng shui that terrifies anyone willing to reuse the property. What do you think? The Perda City Mall was initially named and owned by Aeon Seberang Price City Mall that began its operations in 2008. Aeon Group decided to relocate to Aeon Mall Bukit Mertajam later in 2014. In the same year, in 2014, as Aeon left the premises, the mall was shut down for renovations for several months before reopening as Perda City Mall. It was during this time when Econ Save had taken over Aeon's grocery supermarket. After only 2 years of operations as Perda City Mall, all the outlets within the mall received a one-day notice that shocked everyone. This exact notice was given to the store owners. In this notice, it states, "Dear valued tenants, acting on our headquarters instructions, regret to inform that we shall close Perda City Mall and cease operations effecting from tomorrow, Tuesday, 2nd August 2016. They apologized for the inconvenience and left the phone number for the tenants to call for inquiries. However, according to some claims I found online, the managerial department refused to pick up any calls on that Tuesday. The Perda City Mall sent this notice to its tenants with only 1 day notice to vacate the mall. But the question is why? According to an article by the Edge Markets that was posted in 2018, the mall suffered from severe losses, most likely due to the openings of other malls within mainland Penang that had attracted most of its customers away from Perda City Mall. Other undocumented claims saw that the Perda City Mall had even owed Tenaga Nasional Berhad (TMB) that led the mall to shut down their air conditioning systems. as the claim goes, the mall apparently gave the excuse that the air conditioning system was instead faulty and needed repairs. Since 2016, Perda City Mall was left abandoned and was even put up for sale in 2018 for a price range between 300 to 500 million ringgits. Although no new development or changes have been taken up so far, since its abandonment, rumors started to spread of it being haunted. Explorers have ventured into the site hunting for ghosts while finding several branded outlets still having their signs up in their old lots. Like all the abandoned places in this video, they are no longer used for the intentions they were once built for. Instead, the land that was once destroyed to build the buildings have now been consumed by nature itself. A cycle that will forever repeat itself here on Earth. This is Defies, and thank you so much for watching.